They say scent is the strongest trigger for memory, but sometimes it's paper, or paint, or a perfectly bent piece of wire. Today I'm making something small but meaningful, a bunch of tiny lavender-colored button flowers. And somehow, in the quiet repetition of this work, memories bloom too. Hi friends, it's Ivy. Welcome back to Museum of the Ancestors. Today I'm making miniature button flowers in a lavender color for the greenhouse. I start with eye pins, bending the loop at a 90-degree angle. Then I paint them green and let them dry. While that's happening, I take some purple origami paper and paint the white side a soft lavender. Once that's dry, I punch out tiny flower shapes and glue several layers together, attaching them to the eye of the pin. After a little more drying time, I gently fluff out the petals. Then I press the flower stems into a piece of foam, glue that foam into a flower pot I made on my 3D printer, and top it all off with a layer of glue and coffee grounds for soil. Simple, satisfying, and a little sentimental too. As you're watching, if there's anything you want to know more about, how I made the flower pot, the painted paper technique, or even how I use coffee grounds in miniatures, drop me a comment below. I'd love to know what you're curious about. If there's interest, I'll put together a little Q&A so we can learn from each other. Speaking of coffee grounds, coffee has always had a strong place in my family's story. My dad's whole side of the family took coffee very seriously. We'd go to my grandma's house for lunch sometimes, and she'd make something amazing, like prime rib or chicken and dumplings. And after the meal, everyone would sit around drinking coffee in fancy cups with saucers. I used to wait eagerly for them to finish, because once they were done, I'd get to climb into someone's lap, usually my Uncle Jeffrey. He's been my favorite person in the whole world pretty much since the day I was born. And he still is. People loved staying at our house because my dad made coffee in the mornings, rich, dark, and smelling like heaven. He learned that from his mother, my grandmother, Mildred. She passed that tradition down like a sacred rite. I really wish I liked coffee. It smells amazing, but it tastes like sadness. My grandmother Mildred lived in East Central Indiana until she was in her mid-80s. By then, dementia had been creeping in like a thief in the night. Eventually, she couldn't take care of herself anymore, so my parents went up there and brought her back to Tennessee to live in assisted living. I took her every Friday to get her hair done, just like she did back home. One Friday I couldn't make it, so my husband at the time went to pick her up. She looked at him and said, "I didn't know you could drive." It was extra funny because, well, he was a terrible driver. She always complimented me on my car, a red convertible. "This is a nice car. What do your friends think of it?" she'd ask. One day I drove my dad's Lexus instead, and she said, "This is a very nice car. What do your friends think about it?" She used to drive the cutest powder blue VW Rabbit when I was a kid, so her liking my car really meant something. As I build these tiny flowers, I find myself thinking about how these little pieces hold more than just paint and paper. They hold stories, and love, and a kind of quiet loyalty. And it's funny, when I think about scent and memory, this keeps coming back to me. The smell of lilacs takes me straight to warm spring days in Indiana. And there's this one smell, something between heat and grease and something sweet in the air, that instantly transports me back to the county fairs we used to go to. Funny how a single whiff can hold an entire summer. This greenhouse might be fictional, but the woman it honors was very real. There's something sacred about returning to a story again and again. That's what loyalty looks like to me. Not just staying, but choosing to remember, choosing to rebuild, choosing to preserve the good parts, even when the details get blurry. Every flower here remembers her garden. Every pot recalls a lifetime of reused containers, saved for just in case. These plants are miniatures, yes, but they're also placeholders for the care that she gave the world. Love is quiet most of the time. It shows up in small habits. Rinsing out a coffee can to use again, planting more than you need because you know someone will stop by. Saving the string from the newspaper because it might be useful later. She loved in all of those ways. And when I work on these miniatures, I think that maybe that kind of love doesn't disappear. Maybe it just changes form, becomes story or memory or a tiny greenhouse. Before we end today's story, I want to take a moment to remember my friend and colleague, Jimmy. Jimmy was a police officer before he found his second calling in the world of water treatment. That's how we met, at the water treatment plant more than a decade ago. He was one of the sharpest people I've ever worked with. He absolutely aced every operator license exam he took, top scores every time. He was smart, observant, and wrote incredibly clear, detailed reports. His handwriting was so neat, which I appreciated more than I can say, since I was the person who translated those reports for the city council and the state regulators. He had a dry sense of humor, an easy laugh, and a deep love for his family. He was always quick to pull out pictures of his grandkids or his dogs, and he spoke about them with so much joy. He passed away this week, too soon, just in his mid-60s. His birthday was 2 days before mine in a different year. And though I've lost people to tragedy before, this one feels different. This is the first time I've lost a friend to the slow and ordinary heartbreak of illness, and I'm gutted. I miss him already. So this video is for Jimmy too. A good man, a good friend. May his memory be a blessing. Thank you for watching, and for being part of this quiet tribute. If something today made you smile or remember someone, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your stories too. And if you want to help these memories grow a little further, Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need a little gentle nostalgia today. Until next time, I'll be in the garden.